What's up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you the first ever full anime review on the channel. That's right, this is not a reaction video. This is a full review. I'm going to call it pros and cons. I think. Maybe. That might totally change before. You might never even see this part of the video. But yes. So, yeah. So basically the reason I took a break from the anime videos for a few weeks was because there was no point in doing reactions on anime that were already getting ready to end. So I was like, well, I could just wait a couple weeks until the animes end and then just do a review on them, like this one. Alright, so Charlotte is it's a pretty interesting show. It's about PA Works, so that automatically gets a little bit of props from me. The synopsis basically goes like this. The story follows a group of youngsters who have, superpowers. Flawed superpowers, but superpowers nonetheless. And, they basically have a specific agenda to save other people with superpowers. Because, the government tends to pluck these people up and do horrible things to them. That's pretty much the premise. But more into the story is it follows a young man named Outtro. And basically he is one of these people with these powers. He has the ability to basically swap bodies with people temporarily. Think Ino from Naruto, Actually, it's exactly like Ino from Naruto. but yeah, he basically has that ability, and he uses it like any other punk would in high school to do, funny, dickish things to people. And his character, which is probably one of the redeeming qualities of the series, is kind of a dick when he starts off. But, by the end, he is developed, even hyper-developed in a way, to a completely different person. And of course, he goes on with his life until he ends up getting tied up with Nao Tamori. And that's where our adventure begins. That's all I'm going to give you for the story. But here we go. So pros with this show. The biggest pro overall for me is the art design. The art design, the animation, the colors, the freaking colors. I love PA Works animation. Even some of their slower anime, slower paced anime. I'm not a huge slow paced person. Unless it's Mushishi. Mushishi Works. But I'm not a huge slow paced anime person. I watch anime because I like action, I like fights. And I like drama on occasions. But even a slower paced anime is awesome because I love the animation and art design of anything that comes out of PA Works, pretty much. And this does not disappoint at all. PA Works went all the way with this, and the anime, I freaking love the animation in this anime. That's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest things for me in this anime. Another thing is the character development, at least for Naoi and well, kind of for Naoi and mostly for Yu, because Yu's character development in this, he literally, you see him grow and change as a character throughout the show. And that's probably one of the things they got right with the pacing of the show overall, because literally the pacing is probably one of the biggest negatives of the show overall. Another pro of the show is, I guess you can call them cliches. I mean, there's some cliches in the show, there's some convenient writing. But one thing that you don't see in this show, and it's a show about schoolgirls and high school kids, and you don't see fan service at all. There are moments in the show where they totally could go for a panty shot, they totally could go for an upskirt or whatever. They could do it, and they don't. And that just makes it that much better. I like that. You could have totally gone for that upskirt shot on Tamori. On Naoi. And you didn't. Thank you. Thank you, PA word. Now to the cons. The cons, the cons. Alright, so one thing about this show is it kind of proves that some shows, even, some shows are too long and should end quicker, and other shows are way too short and really should have a longer runtime, or either a longer list of episodes. This show is one of them. Like 12, I usually love 12 episode anime because it's something I can finish in about a week. I mean, especially if it's already done. But it's something I can finish like that. A couple days. I can probably finish a 12 episode show in a weekend if I don't have anything to do. And I like them. Sometimes it's a detriment. To this show, it's definitely a detriment. The pacing of the show starts episodic, which starts slow, because episodic shows usually have a slow pacing because each show in itself is more of a story. That's not something that you necessarily can do with a 12 episode show unless it's something like Mushishi, where it's supposed to be like that and there's no real overarching story. But if there's an overarching story, you really can't afford to have an episodic anywhere in a 12 episode series, and that's what breaks this show down. I like episodic TV shows, but it really hurts this show. Like the first half of the show, it seems like they were writing for a 20 episode show because they burn a lot of time just dealing with things in one episode. And then it looks like it's like when they hit episode 6, they realized they only had 12 episodes. And the story just went zoom. I mean, it literally like took off, and it was kind of like rushed. Literally, the last 2 episodes contain enough content that could possibly fill like 10 episodes. It could fill half a season of a normal show, and it's kind of like there's so many missed opportunities, so many stories that could have been told in those last 2 episodes hold so much that it's almost like a waste. It's almost like, what's the point of animating it? You can just come to a quick conclusion, just end it. I mean, it would suck, but it would probably suck less than losing so much, showing us all this. It's like having the ending of a movie be like a trailer. It's like, oh look, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, end. And it's kind of what happens here. And it's kind of like, I should have known something was wrong, because when I was around episode 4, everyone else was around like episode 7. And then everyone was saying, well, this show's kind of lame and it's not really taking off. And I'm like, seems pretty good to me. I mean, I'm liking it. I should have known that, something's wrong here. But, yeah. The show itself, I mean, if you like a show with great visuals. Oh, the ending. The ending is like, now there's not a lot of convenience writing in this show. Everything seems to be written pretty solidly, except for the ending. The ending seems to be way too perfect. I'm not going to tell you the ending because, I mean, I kind of want you to watch the show if you want to watch it. But the ending is way too perfect. It's like wrapped up perfectly. I didn't mean that to be a heart. I meant to be a circle. Never mind. But still, the ending is way too perfect. And this show, I wanted this show to be my first review because I really liked it. And it was a dark horse show for the anime season for me. But I have to give this show a C. That's my ranking system. It's letters. A, B, C, D, E. But yes, this show gets a C. For Charlotte. But yeah, this show would be so much better if it was like 20 episodes. And I'm not a big fan of those long shows because it takes me a little while to watch them. But this show definitely needed like 10 extra episodes. If this show was a 22 episode show, I would say it'd easily be a B, maybe an A show. But that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this. This is definitely a work in progress, so it will get better from here. This is my first full-fledged review. So I'll be doing this for probably another couple of shows in this season before the next season starts up. I will definitely do less shows next season because it's way too hard to keep up with all this stuff. But that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, keep it real.